Welcome back to Soul Renovation. I'm Adeline Atlas, 7 times published author. The Matrix is a mindset, not a location. The Matrix isn't a machine. It's a mental stronghold, a psychological contract built from fear, obedience, performance, and pain. You don't escape it by running. You dissolve it by healing. Reclaim your energy. Reclaim your focus. That is your freedom key. The Matrix isn't a place. It's a psychological trauma bond. It's the loop you don't question because it looks like culture. It sounds like authority. It feels like reality, but it's not. It's just programming. It's just repetition. It's just a trauma-rooted attachment to control systems that never had your soul in mind. The Matrix is the system of thought that teaches you to obey without asking why, to follow rules before you ever trust your gut, to fear your power, to outsource your truth, to confuse acceptance with safety, and most dangerously, to confuse your programming with your personality. You don't leave the Matrix by moving cities. You don't break out of it just by learning conspiracy facts. You exit it energetically by healing your trauma bonds. The ones that taught you love had to be earned, that you needed permission to rest, that hustle equals worth, that silence equals peace, that being seen is unsafe, that your value is based on your productivity. All of those beliefs? Matrix coded. We don't escape the system by rebellion alone. We escape by healing, because the Matrix runs on unhealed energy. It feeds on anxious nervous systems, distracted minds, addicted attention spans, people who are too triggered, too loyal to survival mode, too stuck in patterns to even recognize their own divinity. And here's the wild part. The system doesn't need to chase you. You carry the control code in your own thoughts. That's how powerful early programming is. It becomes autopilot. You censor yourself before the world does. You gaslight yourself before anyone else needs to. And that's why healing isn't self-help. It's self-liberation. You reclaim your power when you start auditing where your attention goes. Because attention is currency. It builds timelines. It wires belief. And when your attention is still looped into fear-based systems, toxic news, manipulative relationships, scarcity thoughts, comparison traps, the Matrix still owns your power. But the moment you unplug your attention from fear and reinvest it into vision, discipline, boundaries, spiritual clarity, the illusion starts glitching. You stop reacting. You stop performing. You stop identifying with the lower version of you that was trained to obey. And you start remembering who you actually are. That's when the Matrix can't hold you anymore. Because you've broken the agreement. You've rewritten the internal contract that said, I'll trade my power for permission. And instead, you start saying, I'll reclaim my power, and I won't apologize for it. And don't get it twisted, that healing isn't always aesthetic. Sometimes it's gritty, quiet, personal. You're breaking codes that go generations deep. Family systems, school systems, religious shame, societal narratives, energetic oppression. You're doing work most people won't do, and that's why your freedom feels different. So if you're still carrying the weight of old fear systems, breathe. Audit your attachments. Who or what are you still plugged into that keeps you in loops? Who still has access to your energy just because they had access to your pain? What habits still operate on autopilot and convince you this is just how life is? It's not. Life doesn't have to be survival. It doesn't have to be exhaustion. It doesn't have to be reactivity. Those are Matrix symptoms. And your soul's healing is the antidote. The School of Soul Vault is my private monthly membership designed for those who are done just listening and ready to start building. Inside, you get full access to my video series, the unfiltered teachings, the strategy, the game plans, everything I don't share anywhere else. If you're ready to grow in silence and rise with precision, this is where it happens. Join the Vault, monthly access, lifetime impact.